Okay, okay. Now for the real show. We are back. Welcome back to Diced Coffee. We're a group of nerds gather on the internet to give you unsolicited life advice, and maybe somewhere along the line we play a bit of Dungeons and Dragons. So we're back with Dragonsgrave, our level 20 weekly campaign, and jumping in from last week, where Mage has gathered a group of barons, fellow barons around the land of Azram, who are either not completely against their family or in an equally untrusted position amongst the Guildmasters of the kingdom. Where this discussion would have led is yet to be determined, as it was interrupted with the discoveries of some shifters, and Mage has decided to collect these barons for an early morning search party. With Tanya having an odd encounter in the forest and possibly nearly getting killed. We don't know that. Mage and the others eventually found their way towards the source of the shifters, or at least where they're leading, to find this odd dome of rainbow-like colors that surrounded a significant portion of the forest. Best estimate would be about a kilometer, about 2 kilometers of diameter that surrounds the forest. Upon seeing this, and some guards peering their heads inside this, whatever it is, they have discovered that there is nothing new about the inside the forest. It does not act as a protective shield. It does not act as a barrier of any sort. It is simply there and just marks some form of border for whatever reason. Mages decide, because of the lack of sleep, to let the barons go back to their respective kingdoms, take a full night's rest, and return for the morning. So, the assumption here is that everyone has returned to their kingdoms at around 12 p.m.-ish, had a bit of food, and then just went to sleep. So, I will ask the players now. Are you fine with just sleeping from like 12 p.m. until 6 a.m. the next day? Because you can't do that in real life. You gotta have it in fantasy. Or is there something you want to do during that time period other than sleep?
Will it cause exhaustion, by the way? If
No.
we
Technically you only need about
5?
8 hours for a long rest. So from 12 p.m. you can wake up at 11 and it should be more or less fine. To be safe, give yourself like 5 hours if you want to wake up and do something.
Mage would have a few things to get done. According to The 7 Habits by Stephen Covey. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
We're not having a discussion. I'm not paid to lecture. Okay.
Anything? So you want something done in the middle, or before the 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. journey, rather?
Yeah, for that. I'd like first. I'd like to I'll summon Lord Bane. Let's just say I'm still in my quarters.
You're doing this at night before you sleep, or when you are, when you've awakened? Before. Good. Okay. You call for Bane as you've just arrived home, prepared yourself, getting ready for bed. Baroness, you've called for me.
Lord Bane, enter. Good evening, Lord Bane.
Good evening.
I suppose before we go on our little incursion at sunrise, I just wanted to inquire if there were any issues in the keep that needed resolving, or if there was any news from Alden and Frost Garden.
No issues within the keep. There doesn't seem to have been another replay of sorts of what happened with the gods. The one god that we have detained is unfortunately still detained. We have not been able to ascertain the nature of his condition or a way to fix him. As for Lord Alden in Frostgarden, there was updates of the boar farm. They are proceeding rather well. The pen is up, and we either only await for the ritual that you have gotten your hands on, or allow the boars to breed as they will. In any case, the pen is up.
Okay, so last time I checked, I left my sister in charge of the spell. Is that correct?
To study the spell, to which she has determined that if you send someone there to actually do it, they're going to be out of commission for a week.
What about our 3 elven guests?
They can, if you're willing to let them go to Frostgarden.
The risk. How are they doing with their own work? The last time I checked, we were also asking them to put up a self-sustaining farm.
Yeah, okay. Vane will respond to the query. The elves have done quite well for themselves. The farm is operational. The daylight spell has been created. It is a small area, about 40 or so square meters of land and dirt where we can grow crops. The crops themselves are obviously growing. We do require the services of a druid in order to have anything come off these crops. But nevertheless, they are growing steadily.
Okay then. I suppose that doesn't leave much to be done. Can you kindly tell our 3 elven guests they get 1 day off, just to give them a break from all of that? Yeah.
That shall be done.
1 day off, and you mentioned you needed a druid. I suppose in a fortnight, in a few days, we can summon Lord Aldrin here. I'm sure the Frost Garden can spare him for an evening. Put him to work in the dungeons. That sounds wrong. I mean, put him to work on the farms in the dungeons.
Yes, Varnes. I shall send a raven. I'm sure Lord Alden will be more than compliant.
Right then. Thank you.
Regarding your incursion later on sunrise, Varnes, I have taken the liberty of contacting some ears on the ground in Azram, if you will. Some leftover people that still have certain loyalties to your family and to myself. There seems to be no effect so far on the townspeople of Azram. No discernible effect, at least. However, there have been several instances of people seeing spirits or ghosts at the corner of their eyes, possibly shifters. I have gathered that the townspeople are still oblivious. However, my network does not extend so far as to reach the confines of the Guild of Oracles. I'm not sure if they are already aware of the phenomenon, or if they are making any moves towards solving the matter.
I suppose at this point it's still too risky for us to start playing politics. A prudent choice of the prudent course of action for now would seem to be we continue to remain under the radar. Is that not so, Lord Bane?
Perhaps. I would request that I take the sending stone that Lady Tanya has taken, but such that I may contact you. I have placed several eyes of my own across the lands that are leading from Azram to where you are going. Should any bannermen of the Guild of Oracles or any other guild in Azram approach, I may be able to warn you, and you may plan accordingly to what you require or what you need to do.
Very well done, Lord Bane. Next time you find my sister, tell her that I, as Baroness, authorized this.
Thank you, Baroness.
Okay.
Will that be all?
That'll be all for now, thank you. Unless I think of something else, but I suppose that's it for now, Lord Bane. Thank you.
Oh, well.
He bows and he leaves your quarters. Kristen?
Yeah, I'm just gonna approach Mage room, and because Mage.
Uh-huh. Hello,
Um,
Tristan. What can I do for you?
yes.
Not sleeping yet.
Yeah, I was thinking about this whole Spectre thing being a message to us. Uh, would you have a way, or maybe Tanya's boy, is about looking at the other kingdoms, other families that are affected by this? You know that they thought this is a signal, the one that we are seeing illusions of our past type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, who are the families
Spy on
that
the
are?
other family.
I mean, it's more inquiry is something that is more what you call it legal way of
I understand.
saying it. I mean, it is not bad that we inquire if they're who are actually being affected the same. But I do think that the illusions that we're seeing is some sort of a message for us not to forget what we are currently fighting for. Or yeah,
Well, Lord Bane was just in here, and most of the people in Azram claim that um, there's, there's been the odd sighting of specters, but nothing much other than that.
yeah. It's more of the illusions that we saw, like the
Yeah,
illusion, yeah, like the illusions of you and father, or like
yeah.
me seeing father, um, fighting the Shadow Guild's right hand.
We need to start. I agree, but we need to be very careful about this.
Yeah,
If you find Lord Bane, because I have requested, I have authorized him to start making friends in Azram. If he can find a way to make friends with the minor servants of other houses, or like at least dangle around the same circles in taverns or inns, I would be willing to take your advice. Maybe we can start there.
yeah.
Nothing too direct though. It's going to have to be very slow. It will take a lot of time, but I like it. I like it.
Okay. Also, yeah, I'll just say maybe some other minor families that are also experiencing the same illusions past that we have, right?
To find a way to reach out to them, I suppose, but without looking too suspicious. If we start making too many friends, it'll start catching the wrong people's attention.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Or
like us being oblivious of what's happening and asking other families what. Oh, do you have any idea of what's happening? Also, type of thing.
we can work it out. All right then. Next time Lord Bane comes back, let's see what we can do. It just has to
Okay.
be done slowly. Thank you. Actually,
Okay.
I will write that down. I will write that down.
I'll take my leave.
Yeah.
There will be a long day tomorrow.
Tanya,
Good night,
there's
brother.
there's a knock on your door.
Come in.
My lady, the Baroness has authorized me to take the sending stone that has previously been provided to you. There may be some issues with the oracles in Azram. They may already know what is happening, as several citizens have reported the same form of shifter activity that we have experienced the last few days. As such, I have thought it wise to put eyes on the road from Azram to where you are heading in the morning, and I will require a method of contact to you and your family.
All right. Here you go.
Thank you. Also,
Yes.
I have meant to ask you something. When you and the boy Lucas went out from the north gate, you mentioned you saw an opening, a different entrance into the caverns, correct?
Yes. What of it?
They were marked with runes.
Yes, I remember drawing them. Do you want to see them?
Yes, may I?
Sure.
He just hands it
Remember
back.
anything?
I've been having a hard time recalling where I've seen these before, but I had gone through some journals I had written in my early days working with your father. These were runes that he had discovered how to create. A forced entry of sorts.
So created an entrance.
An
Another place?
entrance and a path to follow in order to get to a specific location. He opens up his own leather notebook. Yes, they seem to be very similar. Hands it to you to look. One of them is sort of his note on the journals, like about your father creating this symbol, and when you kind of look at your own drawing, it's very similar.
So the Lord made it. Lord Giliath.
I cannot confirm. If he has done it without my knowledge. But these are some things he was researching on. The last I checked, he was not aware of it. I wanted to see the symbols that you had spoken of before reporting to the Baroness. I shall write a letter for and inform her in the morning. But thank you for confirming.
Alright.
You are the most keen of your siblings. Might I ask you to be on the lookout for more of these symbols? If it was not created by your father to the caverns, then it is likely someone may have taken the design. As such, it can become rather dangerous. The idea behind this portal was to allow shorter travel between spaces that are unprotected. That would include possibly our walls, should someone be close enough to be able to carve them into our kingdom.
I'll make sure to inform Lucas, and the two of us will keep an eye out.
Thank you. I shall inform your sister in the morning, but should you see the Baroness before I do, please do inform her what I have told you. And he hands you a note. Just a summary.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Bane.
He leaves. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna barge in mages.
Oh, you're gonna... Already? Okay. Middle of the night, as Mage has what? Put on her mask or something, let's say?
Yeah, I was already like...
The sulfur
doing my
mask.
corset, removing the stockings. Like,
There's
what the fuck are you doing here?
The door opens and your sister Tanya.
Hi, Mage.
Like right in the middle of using mage hand to like shave my armpits. What?
Why do I always barge in the wrong times? Maybe you really shouldn't barge in the middle of the night. Anyway, Lord Bane was in my room. He asked for the stone.
Rather unfortunate phrasing, but go on, dearest sister.
Yes, for a stone.
Rather unfortunate phrasing.
We're not talking about that. And apparently, the runes that we found gives access to forced entry to any place that they want to, as long as the rune is in that certain area. So Lucas and I are gonna keep an eye out. There might be some in our place, and the last thing we would want is to have someone barging in our place, in a private place, as now would we.
So do you suspect that someone in the past, what was it, DM, 24 hours? 48 hours.
48 hours for the runes.
That someone in the past 48 hours might have gained access to the keep.
I'm not entirely sure, because I'm still not sure what is going on with our keep. But I might as well check, because we never really know. I don't want to get caught off guard.
What more time do we have until we have to meet up with the others?
By now it's still nighttime, so if you want to get a full rest, about 2-3 hours.
Alright then, Tanya, you have 3 hours tops. But I need you fully
Yeah.
prepared for the morning.
I will.
Yeah.
Do you need help with that? I'm pointing at her corset.
Go away, Tanya.
I don't really know how you managed to put it on yourself. Like, that's actually impressive. But yeah,
Yeah.
good night, dear sister. I'm gonna
Good night. Go away.
Go away. We don't want you.
Go away.
Stop barging in my room.
Stop barging in my room in weird hours of the evening.
Yeah.
Never.
It's
I'm gonna say that while I'm moving away.
yeah, it's fucking creepy is what it is.
Yeah.
It is. At least I'm not sneaking around. I'm doing this like blatantly barging in her room. Not
Thank God
picking her
Mage is
lock.
still single. Or else Tanya might barge into something else. Oh, no.
No, thank you. I do not want to see that. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna hear it before I go near.
Yeah.
I have enough passive perception to know what's going on in your room.
Passive perception. Someone is fucking within a 100-foot radius of Orion.
Maybe
What
she's
kind of noise
quiet.
is that? What is she? Why is she making that kind of noise? I
Why-
can hear it all over my room.
Why is she praying to Tyr?
Why is she praying? Why is she screaming in abyssal?
Mage
Oh,
apparently has rolled a natural 20 for animal handling in the room next door.
I can't. I
Anyway,
can't. He's in the
um,
bed. Yeah, I'm just gonna make my rounds after. I'm gonna go to Lucas.
go to Lucas. Okay. He is on the top of the wall, keeping watch.
He's gonna catch his attention, like whistle from where I am.
His neck just kind of snaps back and then drops down. Yes, master.
Major, well, we need to keep an eye out for these kinds of rooms.
The ones from the cave.
Mhm.
Very well.
Because apparently it allows forced entry, and we do not want that in our keep.
I shall search the walls. I have enough time to go around.
I'll take care of the inner key.
And the tea. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
Lucas's minimum is 25.
Sorry, alright, I'm dumb as shit. My minimum is 17. But 7, 14, 24.
24. You move around the keep looking for every possible. You don't really have to search for small place because it doesn't make sense to make an entrance there. But you look at every kind of area that has a certain radius or a certain kind of width that would conceivably become an entrance. No runes or magic from what you can tell. The runes from the cave were pretty specific that you know magic can. You can see them once you remove the covers. But moving around the keep, between you and Lucas, nothing there. Doesn't seem to have any portion of the place that is covered in any sort of runes or magic that isn't supposed to be.
Can I have a minute? I will just take a shit.
No problem.
I'll be back in a minute. Right.
That's not something you had to announce, but no problem.
God damn it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well,
so-
after that, I'm just gonna meet up with Lucas, reconvene, and then.
yeah, you spend about an hour or two, kind of moving around. Sorry, you spend about an hour or two, kind of maneuvering around and seeing where to go, what to find, that sort of deal. And eventually, you gather with Lucas in the front courtyard as he kind of moves closer to you. I have seen nothing, master. Nothing of the sort.
I haven't seen anything either, but. Just keep an eye out from now on. Someone might slip our watch and manage to sleep in a room.
Very well. I shall keep a watch for these runes.
And
Yes.
do not stay up too late. We're gonna need you to keep watch over the keep while we're gone.
Of course. I shall make sure that I get to rest.
Alright. Good night. Is there anything else that you want to report? Anything unusual?
There was something. I went out with a few knights as they were going on their hunt to scout the area. I had found something. The knights assumed that they were just corpses, but it was odd. They were bandits, and ordinarily the bandits would have been killed by our knights or killed by the weather or some form of animal, but this corpse showed no signs of damage or scarring, no broken bones, as if it just died.
Maybe, well,
Possibly
where did
a
you see them?
heart attack, or maybe the cold has
Yeah.
gotten to them. However, I've never seen a bandit tread this far up north and be ill prepared for how cold it is, let alone stay this far north. It was possibly a mile off the south road. The knight said that he might have just died from the cold, so we left it alone. I just found it odd.
Were they,
I've never seen bandits so foolish.
were they carrying anything?
Few gold pieces, some leather armor, winter clothing, weapons. The weapons didn't even seem to have been drawn. And they didn't die as if it was cold, as if they collapsed, or perhaps died in their sleep, like would be normal. They just laid there.
The ones that I saw in the other dimension, they're hunters, right? They're not exactly bandits.
Yes. But in this region, they kind of dress the same.
Well, how many did you find again? Oh, hold on. Did any one of them look like this? I'm gonna morph. Make sure no one's looking at us.
No. Unfortunately, I only found one. I only saw the face of one corpse. The rest of them were buried in the snow. I was not able to dig them up. The guards had thought it best to just leave it be and let the animals handle it. But they wore similar. I'm not sure. They just wore leather armor and winter clothes.
Give me a moment. Can I try to mimic all of the faces that I saw?
Okay. Shift 1, 2, 3. You just
Shift.
there.
And my clothes as well. The one I'm wearing. The armor.
Shift, and then you just there. That one. That was the face I saw.
Yes. I happen to have seen them too. It's just that I found them in a different circumstance. Inform our men not to hunt needlessly in the wilds.
I've come to the understanding that they do not. They are already very unwilling to go out there to hunt in the first place. We're only looking for food. But I shall tell them.
It's, from what I've known, it's what happened to them. They were hunting needlessly, and Druidic religion, I'm not entirely sure how it works, but they don't exactly smile in those kinds of activities. Might as well inform our people not to do it so they don't end up in the same fate.
I cannot pretend to understand, but I shall inform them.
Neither of us do, Lucas. I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder and say, get some sleep.
Of course.
I'll report to Mage tomorrow morning.
Of course. Just goes out for one more round till he gets. Yeah.
How far is the entrance, the one with the runes from our keep?
Oh, that's like 15 minutes. 10, 15.
On a horse?
On a horse will take you like 5. 10, 15 is like walking.
I'll go there before I go to sleep.
Okay. You can take a horse ride outside the north entrance. You find the same general area where you saw it. What are you looking for?
I'll pat the tree that I awakened. Apparently it lasts quite a while, so I'm gonna wake him up. Hey, you still there? Good morning.
What is it?
Did you happen to see anyone who went inside that cave recently?
Not as of late. Not since your last visit.
Would you do me a favor and keep an eye out in case?
Even trees require sleep, but if I am awake, then I shall watch.
Do you want a friend? I'm gonna point at the tree next to him.
Perhaps.
Alright. Give me a moment. I'm gonna go. Is there a tree that you prefer to be awakened? You might want to have a specific kind of company.
To be honest with you, none of the trees have ever spoken. I would not know what their company is like.
That's fair. And if you happen to not like them, I would be more than happy to turn them into a chair. Then I'm gonna go to the tree next to him. Then I'm gonna take my...
There's an odd feeling of, did she just say what I think she said that just fills the air at the
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I left right after that. Like, I'm not gonna let him ask me about it, but I am going to go to the tree next to him. And I'm gonna lightly tap it with my bow so it vanishes while it gets absorbed.
Can you hit more than one?
I think so. It's just that I can only do it once a day. Plus, the awakening lasts for a while.
Beast or plant creature within 30 feet of you. It lasts for 8 hours.
Wait, just 8 hours? I thought it lasts for a while. If I keep doing it, I guess. Awaken.
You can awaken him again, that's fine. But it only lasts for 8 hours.
Oh.
Then
That's fine.
But yeah, it is once
I'll
per
just
day.
awaken him.
So it's just him who's awake. But it only lasts for a day. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just head back if that's the case
just-
afterward.
I will say that you have to inform him you can't give him company. And he just kind of looks at it. That is fine. I shall speak with the crabgrass.
Crabgrass.
There's crabgrass growing under his.
Are they good company?
They are company.
Well, company is company. Good night. I'm gonna pat him and then I'm gonna...
You leave
Head off.
back. Okay. So you gather some sleep. You. Hold on. Okay. So, you gather some sleep. You.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, I just read it's 8 hours.
Okay.
Once a day.
1 sec. Okay. So, after gathering some sleep and preparing for the next day, as you awaken, what is there for you to do at the moment?
Oh. I'm just can I call Jonas?
Um,
Uh,
he will approach if you call for him, just preparing for kind of mid wearing his armor, tying his sword across his waist. He said, Lord Commander.
yes. We are about to go for a mission. Can you spare me how many? At least 2 nights that can escort me.
That is fine. I
Okay.
was under the presumption the Baroness wanted this between family matters, but I shall call for 2 nights.
Yeah, just to be more safe.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and we will be gone for the day. I assured. I want you to take over at the moment, defending our place.
Yes, Lord Commander. And Lord Bane has already informed us.
Okay. As you were.
He leaves, and eventually you get 2 knights with you. So, as they just approach, the rest of you are gathered, and Mage will be joining us in a bit. Yes.
Can I go to the armory and take a rapier?
Sure.
I'll just take one in case I went into close quarter combat.
You mean the thing you're not
Savior.
supposed to do?
Yes, I know. It's
Why
in
are we
case.
doing all
In
the things that
case.
we're not supposed to?
I wish that I could, but if might as well get prepared if I can, because I can shoot an arrow from 5 feet.
Because you didn't take the feat.
I didn't take the feat.
So, Mage, your video okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you open your video?
Yep. Yeah. My PC just crashed. Go on lang. I'm rebooting it. I'm on my phone for the next few minutes.
Oh, okay. Fix that. Anyway, so you guys are about to leave and head off to your destination, which is going to be once again Castle Windwake, Baron Drogus' territory. Is there anything you need to prepare beforehand? Because I believe Tanya has a report.
Mage? Wait, I'm
Uh-huh.
already morphing before we leave, so I look like Luna.
Sure.
Alright.
Lucas and I were wandering around the keep for at least 2 hours, and neither of us have found anything that resembles the rune. But we will keep an eye out from today onwards.
Suspicious. What if the place, of course I don't know, but what if that general place where you found the runes was as far as they were willing to go?
Perhaps, although those runes,
Lead into the
I'm not
caverns.
entirely sure, but they do lead. They seem to lead to the caverns. Is the one with the mind flayers?
Well, last time we sent someone down there, we lost 2 bannermen, so
I'm not willing to face mind flayers, Mage.
Yeah.
That's not my
I'm not.
thing.
I'm not sure why anyone would want to go down there. But all right. I suppose we should keep an eye on it.
Well, from what I know,
Uh,
they did say that they're looking for someone, a brother, or a sibling, perhaps.
Hang on a minute. Who's looking for a brother?
The ones who went inside the ruins the last time. The elves.
All right, the elves. Doesn't make any sense. So, hang on a minute. So, let me recollect everything. So the runes lead to that same sort of hidden entrance, or down into the entrance that the whole kingdom knows of.
The runes open to the runes are the end that opens an entrance to the caverns. Basically, it doesn't lead there supposedly, but the runes make it so that it leads to the cavern.
That's so strange.
Again,
That
just to
means-
recall, the runes are on a wall and they act as an alternate entrance into the caverns that usually take about an hour or 2 to get to by horse.
What does that mean? What could it be? I suppose I suppose it's going to have to wait. But if you run into Jonas, if you run into your brother, or if you run into Lord Bane, can you please request that we put that we put 2 sentries by that rune, 2 guards. Keep an eye
I-
out on it.
Could. Although wait. About the tree, can it only keep watch if I awaken it, or does it passively see?
Well, if it's not
Or-
awakened, it's not alive, so...
Fair. I am gonna inform them then.
All right then.
Although, are you sure you want everyone else to know that we are guarding that specific place?
I suppose you do make a good point in that respect. Do do you have any counter proposals?
Lucas and I can keep watch after this mission. We can stealth and keep an eye out for a few days. See if anything happens.
All right then. That sounds fine with me. And I'm sure that if anything were to come through with those runes, you and Lucas would stand a better chance than 2 sentries. All right then. We'll work with that.
All right. Oh, it's gonna be a cold, cold night. I'm gonna
Thank
go
you.
to Jonas.
You have a
And-
boy with you and you're worrying that it's going to be a cold night? Kids these days.
We're not gonna watch together, Mage. We're taking shift.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
You-
but by the way, Mage, I took the liberty to have 2 nights with us today during our
2
journey.
nights.
If it's okay with you.
Who are they? Are they like renowned knights or capable knights in particular?
Tristan requested for two of your knights within the keep. Jonas by default has requested for a veteran and someone who's sort of mid-range, still capable, just to balance experience with youth, sort of.
All right then.
The veteran knight is Sir Dallas Vigor,
Mhm.
Dales, and then
Okay.
Vigor. He's a veteran, although he's only in his mid-40s, but he has seen a lot of sort of fighting. He's also been a knight since your father's time.
All right then.
The much younger one is Adris Lune, ADRISLUNE. Adris is a young early 20s knight, about 23, 24 last time you checked. He was actually given his status by Tristan about a year and a half ago.
All right. Okay.
However,
fine.
within that year and a half, he was proven to be a capable warrior.
Okay then. Sure. All right. I'm fine with this. All right then, Tristan. Diba? We can have our
Yep.
2 nights.
Okay.
So, you guys can begin to gather as you move around and prepare yourselves for the morning. Is there anything else that needs to be done before you head over to Baron Drogus' castle, where you will begin to go on your journey?
DM, I am taking the Dark Scepter with me.
Your father's. Okay. Oh no, the new one. Okay.
The new one, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are you carrying it around with you?
Trying to keep it hidden, like
I have a bag
under
of
my
holding.
coat. There you go. Okay then.
All right.
It goes in the bag of holding. We are putting the Dark Scepter into Tanya's bag of holding. Yes.
Oh God, Mage.
Can we retcon and say Tanya has a portable hole instead of a bag of holding? They function the same.
No,
Tanya
No.
DM.
They function the same.
no.
We are
No.
we are putting it into Tanya's very secret, very intimate portal of holding. Yes.
I hate
The
all
dark
of you.
stuff?
The dark staff. Yeah, the dark staff. The
Yeah,
big
the-
dark staff made this big
Tanya's so
black staff from the
wholesome.
big
God
black god.
damn it! Why are you guys like this? She's
And-
like the most wholesome
Yeah.
character here. God damn it!
Okay. But anyway,
Well,
um,
Tristan is repressed and Mage is sexually frustrated, so you're just going to have to deal with that.
so is Ida.
Ida is absolutely.
So is Ida. Ida is the worst. Fucking climate change. Fucking climate change every time she sees Lord Gallius. The north ain't that cold
Yeah.
anymore.
So,
Give
it's
me
a-
a minute lang. I will have my book cam back
Yeah.
on. Go lang,
Sure.
Dia.
no,
Oh my
that's fine.
God.
Is there anything else that needs to be prepared on the way? I got your thing. So, if I'm counting this correctly, this is the four of you with Tanya looking like Luna. Are you bringing Lucas with you or no?
No, I'll leave him in the keep.
Okay. And 2 knights. That means the four of you and 2 knights. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you move forward. You head over to the teleportation circle that Ida can very easily activate for you with your 2 knights. Sir Loon is, for whichever of you is interested, incredibly handsome.
I wonder who's interested.
He's also got this sort of scar from a battle, just a
shit.
scar across his right eye that just extends from the top
Oh shit.
to his cheek, kind of
Oh,
like
shit.
Anakin Skywalker. It's just
Right.
kind of went
Oh
down.
no. How long do we know this man? You had to mention Scar, and I am losing my shit.
You've known him since he wasn't
He was a
exactly a
kid?
squire. He was already a trained warrior as a kid, but he didn't earn his kind of knighthood yet until Lord Tristan knighted him. But you've known him for about, checking my notes, 3 years. Sorry, 5 years. 5 years.
3 years. And he doesn't exactly know me as Luna, right? Like,
No.
Luna never really interacts with other people.
No.
So, yeah. I guess while we're traveling, I'm just gonna look at him and say, "Where'd you get this?"
Was a battle. What was it now? A year ago? Not but 6 months after my knighthood was declared. We had a bit of an incursion with some bandits, but they weren't your regular everyday bandits. They were trained. Seemed like more like assassins. There was a bit of a fight, some men were lost, but eventually we did manage to subdue them, and I suppose it worked out. Not before one got a shot at me. Youthful exuberance, I suppose.
Well, oddly enough, it does look good. Then I'm gonna put my hood on and walk forward. And travel forward.
I hope you actually know what his name is, but you...
I do. Yeah, I do.
You guys move forward to the teleportation circle,
I
which
just don't
Ida
interact much
activates.
with Luna.
Because I feel obligated to ask, does Ida try to make a show of her power? Because you can activate the circle flashily if you want to.
Yeah. Like Cardcaptor Sakura. Ish.
Gonna-
Flashy.
There's like a staff that's twirling
She's gonna turn into a
around,
magical girl.
and then Luna. Yeah, Luna. You're Luna now. You have a passive perception of 27, yes?
29.
29. Sir Loon does not seem impressed. He seems to be... However, you also see that he seems to be well versed in the arcane, because people like you, or people like the other knights you traveled with, there's always this hint of curiosity in the corner of their eye when magic is cast, especially something that bends the laws of space and time like teleportation. Sir Loon seems unfazed by it. Like it's either he's seen this before, or he has the absolute greatest poker face in the world. But
Can
he's
I
just
roll
standing
my
there.
perception to see which one it is?
That would be your insight. Your perception, you already saw it.
Okay.
And I will message you
Ah, crap.
if you got a
Insight.
good one.
Yeah, oh no. I got my minimum, which is 14. Oh! Which is 24, actually. Insight is 24 minimum.
Okay?
I am waiting for that message.
We've sent it to you. So, the circle with Sir Loon unfazed. And you eventually, in an instant, get pulled into the teleportation circle of Baron Drogus' castle Windwake. As you arrive, the guards kind of open the door, just saying, please, could you step aside from the circle? The Baroness Kiara is arriving at any moment. We do not want any accidents. Thank you. Moves all of you to the side, and in an instant, 5-ish seconds after you arrive, Baroness Kiara and those two hooded figures that she was with before arrive. Mage, you are in front of Baroness Kiara and 2 knights from Castle Windwake at the moment.
Yara, right on time. Good morning.
Baroness Mage, another early morning for us, I see.
Yeah.
So, I suppose you and yours are all ready to embark on this exciting journey.
Ready as we're ever going to be. Although clearly you and I have quite different definitions of what constitutes an exciting journey. I'll take that, thank you.
Oh, Baroness, you must learn to live your life more excitedly. There's not much to do in the north. Certain activities like this gives me warmth. She just kind of moves with all her grace.
I'm just going to grumble under my breath. I could really use a fucking man to give me some fucking warmth up here in the north.
I heard that and I'm just gonna laugh. Like I'm just giggling under my hood.
As you guys move forward, the knights escort you and says, Baroness Giliath, Baroness Osworth, the Baron is already preparing your transportation. And he gestures to the first floor of his keep where in the courtyard there are prepared multiple carriages, horses for those who want to use a separate horse, and several guards. But the Baron did wish to request for the opinion of the 2 other Baronesses accompanying him. He wished to ask you of your opinion on the matter of how many to bring in terms of force. A large force moving forward, although this is Baron Drogus' territory, should there be outside peering eyes, that may raise some problems. A minimal force, however, may prove to be dangerous or lacking should we run into any problems.
I'm just going to look at Kiara and go, so, stealth and minimalism it is?
Perhaps. The smaller force is much easier to maneuver around, especially in a large area that border encompasses. Less peering eyes. I don't think there's anything we can possibly run into that would... No. Experience says I should probably not continue that sentence. But
Well, aren't you the comforting knight in shining armor, Kiara? Thank you.
I merely speak the truth. However, still, point stands. Perhaps a minimal force is the way to go. Knight just... I shall inform the Baron. At your own leisure, please. The stairs are there. Should you require any of the services around the castle, feel free to do so.
Okay.
Kiara just kind of nods at you and says, and starts heading down the stairs. You guys want to do anything in the castle? You have about 30 minutes before your scheduled departure.
I'll just linger near Loon. Sir Loon.
Okay. So you're competing with your sister Ida now, huh?
No. It's more of a... No, I'm not. It's more of a point of curiosity. Have I ever seen him with Ida when she used the teleportation circle at some point before?
No. He's always been a front guard, like a front liner.
Then I am going to linger next to him and just say, "You've seen it before, haven't you? Teleportation circles? Used to it even."
Used to it? Probably not. Seen it? Many times.
Before you got with us?
Yes. I'm not capable of doing it myself, but I'm familiar with the magics.
Do you happen to know anyone else who's capable? Personally?
No, the group I traveled with, well, there were a few. Those who helped us. Am I to take this
We have
as...
30 minutes. Yeah?
Am I to take this as you're asking me?
It is, yes.
He just looks around. Very well. Before I joined your family, I was part of a group. We were spellcasters of the sort. Not on your sister's level. Oh, sorry, not on Ida's level. Not on Lady Ida or even Lady Rosanna's level. We had abilities. Except we were using those abilities to hunt down people like Lady Ida. Not her specifically, but yes, exactly. Not those types of people. We didn't do it for leisure or for any reason. We did it against those who would abuse her abilities. We were hunters of the sort, but in order to accomplish our goals, we needed to attain power to combat theirs, and then we needed to train. We were not so heavily reliant on these magics that we could not handle a sword. That is where I learned my skills.
Can you teach me your ways? Hunting with me, hunting mages.
A lot of our abilities come from our magic that we have attained through different means. However, I am certain I can teach you a trick or two when hunting spellcasters.
Lovely. I'll talk with you when we get back then.
Very well.
I'm gonna leave after
Patrols. Okay. No one else wants to do anything within the castle. You.
that. Can I talk with Kristen? Kristen, I'm gonna
Sure,
move
go
near
ahead.
Tristan.
Go ahead.
Go.
Making sure that we're away from earshot from
Mhm.
Sir Loon.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to know that one of your knights is a mage hunter?
Would I know? When I...
Yeah,
like
he
him?
never made an effort to hide his past, but you know, oh yeah, he's never made an effort to hide his past.
Yes, I am, sister. Why the sudden interest in...
Well, despite all of these ideas about us being antagonized by other people, I would want to make sure that our own people are not antagonizing us.
Hmm.
Just wanted to make sure that he's, how do you call it? Solid?
Make a... Nah, you would remember this, it's only been a year. Sir Loon, about 7 or 6 months ago, based on your memory, almost died to take an arrow for you. The arrow was several centimeters or inches away from his actual heart when he took it. The arrow was also shot by a spellcaster. It was an arcane arrow.
Okay. So, Ida, if I remember correctly.
Tanya.
Oh, Tanya.
Don't call
Person
me
in-
Tanya, I'm Luna.
Luna. I'm sorry.
Changelings.
You're
Changeling.
gonna ruin everything.
No, Luna. I'm sorry.
When I see the L forming, when I see the T forming in his mouth, I'm gonna smack it.
Luna. He did save my life. Took a spell arrow. Just away from
I
me.
see.
We were fighting a mage. So yeah. I think there's no doubt about him. For me.
Alright. I am planning on training under him at some point.
Hmm.
I still hate spellcasters, and if I do know how to hunt them down, then that would be very convenient.
Well, I'll tell Jonas.
Hey.
I would authorize you to do that. Just promise me it's not something about your rivalry with Ada.
What rivalry are you talking about?
Okay, rivalry. That's okay.
What did you mean by that?
I mean, Ada's only spellcast. Oh yeah, Mage is a spellcaster too. Mage is.
I am hunting down spellcasters because when we're fighting against them, they always find a way to incapacitate me with their spells.
And when you piece
And
off two of our sisters, at least you find a way to incapacitate them too.
Yes. You never know when you need it. I'm just
That's
gonna like chill next to Tristan after that.
Speaking of, I forgot to mention this to all of you. Sir Loon does not carry a. Oh, sorry. Sir Loon carries an odd-looking blade. It is around his waist, like any of the warriors. However, you notice two things about him. One is that his armor is not full plate like Tristan. It looks more like scale mail, lighter kind of armor. Two, the blade that's kind of tied around him. Tanya, you would notice this. The way it moves. You've handled swords before, not your thing. They were kind of heavy, but you've handled swords before. The way it moves when he kind of takes his walk, it's way too light. Like it's almost like it's just the scabbard and there's nothing in it. And he does not carry a shield.
Okay. And you'll meta level, would I know that he's like the mage hunter that
Oh no, he's not that.
can...
He's not that.
Okay. That cannot
No,
be
he's not
hit
that.
by magic.
He's just part of an order. He was till the order got disbanded.
Okay.
If you you would know this again. He doesn't make an effort to hide his past when you pick them up. They were known as the Spellbreakers.
Spellbreakers.
How do I explain this in game? But let's give it meta. They're a group of Hexblade warlocks who hunt down spellcasters that abuse their abilities.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as all of you gather on the courtyard where Drogas has finished preparing the carriages, you said, Baroness Giliath, you have joined us just in time. The carriages are prepared. Food is also prepared for you. So we make our way.
Fine morning, Lord Drogas. Yes,
Very well.
I suggest we waste no more time here. Yeah.
He is, of course, standing next to his son, Lord Giliath,
Oh.
who is
The rain's
riding on a
starting to
separate
fall down.
horse.
And so
Spring is
climate
coming
change
early.
begins.
Spring is coming early.
This
I
is
see the ice
summer.
melting.
So,
So, dry
Tanya,
season.
as Luna, are you still riding a separate horse?
Absolutely, yes.
It's not the dry season, it's now the wet season. Okay.
Mhm.
You're riding
Welcome to June, everyone.
You're riding a separate horse. Giliath is as well, along with your two knights who will keep watch. So, you each have your own carriages moving forward. Because you have a nice passive perception of 29.
Oh god, it's gonna fuck me over again, isn't it?
And by the way, Is it okay if I ride with Tanya?
Yeah, you can have a
With-
horse separate.
I'm
Within
riding with.
the 2 hours of travel that it takes, as you move forward, before this, if you guys are going to speak, let's do it after. But Tanya, the things that catch your eye that isn't part of the normal, that isn't part of the norm around the area, you find a strange glimmer in the snow, and looking a bit closer while you're riding, that's a sword that's just kind of stuck there. A very odd, but also very well polished, shining blade.
I'm going to reach out to Tristan. Just try to touch him and say,
Would
sword. over
would I
there."
know the type of courtesy in this land, picking up objects that is not within?
You ask for permission,
Okay, I'm just gonna.
or you inform them, and then you
inform
ask.
Okay. I'm just gonna inform Galias. Sir Galias, I think we saw a certain curious sword over there.
Sword.
While he's doing this, can I talk with Mage after?
He's gonna go and say, sword. Ah, I see what you mean. Curious. Would you like to have a look at it?
Yeah, I would like to ask for permission from you.
Of course, if you don't have to do it yourself, we can send a knight, but if you would prefer to examine it, I have no qualms.
Just send a knight. Just send a knight. And
Very
we
well.
can examine it here together.
Sir Oakshield, if you wouldn't mind. He just kind of nods, the knight moves at face.
Before he goes, I'm gonna ask Mage, like, knock on the carriage and say, Mage, do you sense magic in that sword?
That's more than 30 feet
Detect
from him.
magic.
When he comes
Oh,
closer.
so it,
When he comes closer,
all right, okay.
but you guys do see Sir Oakshield kind of move forward. He picks up the blade, and he kind of, as he rides back to you, you realize that is not just your regular steel kind of silver shine. That looks like it's made of silver, which is traditionally not very good for holding an edge or for sword making. Mage, the moment he gets within range, as he hands it to Tristan and Galias, there is heavy amounts of some form of conjuration magic that's enchanted into the blade itself.
Can I try and study it further?
You are in the carriage. It is Tristan and Galias who are holding onto the sword. So, if you want it, you'll have
I'm
to
going-
kind of open
Yeah, I'm going to
a window.
stick my head out the carriage. Yeah.
Okay.
Stick my head out, like, that thing there. Do you mind? I'm just going to hold my hand out.
Galias has it from his knight, looks at Tristan and says, "Your Baroness," and hands Tristan the blade.
Yeah.
Just let us know if you find anything.
All right.
Tristan, do you hand it to Mage?
Yep.
Okay. Mage, the sword is passed to you through the carriage.
Then let's see.
Does anyone have an identify spell on them?
Yeah, that's. Oh, Paladin don't have those type of things.
Nope. Okay, Ida. Ida can ritual cast identify, I believe. So,
Yeah.
Ida, the sword itself, the first thing that Mage notices when taking the sword, and Tristan, there's no edge. It's shaped like a sword. There is a point, but it's shaped like a sword that hasn't been sharpened. And it's made of silver, which is bad for an edge. At first, Tristan, you kind of think that maybe the edge is just dulled because it's silver. But then you realize that there's no kind of polishing marks or grinding marks, which makes you believe that this just came out of the forge without an edge. Once you hand it to Mage and Ida, who kind of takes out this white pearl and begins to study the arcane abilities of this blade as it kind of maneuvers and an aura surrounds it. Ida, you begin to understand this sword, at least what it's capable of. The sword is more of a spellcasting focus than it is a weapon. The silver is the lightened steel. It is not meant to be used as a weapon. It is meant to channel magic through it. The other thing is that once you channel magic through the blade, your magic has a chance of duplicating. Mechanically speaking,
Oh my
if you use
God.
this sword as a spellcasting focus, when you cast a spell, you roll a d20, and if you get a 19 or a 20, you double the spell. Meaning if you cast Fireball, you can cast it twice.
Oh,
I smiled as I identified the weapon.
Mage, there's a
Weapon.
huge smile on Ida's face.
I
Yeah.
don't trust that.
so Eldritch Blast will be like 8 blasts.
If
8
it
attack?
doubles, yes. However, this is a
Mage?
sword weapon you have to hold onto your hand. So you need to make sure that if you have another weapon, you know.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, this
Ida,
happening. Can I
darling.
investigate the place where the sword was?
Make an investigation check.
Thank you.
Ida, darling, is there something you want to tell the rest of us?
I mean,
No.
this is not a weapon. This is an arcane focus.
It's a wand that looks like a sword,
Yeah,
basically.
and it can amplify spells.
Oh, I think a few things to do with that. Very well then.
Strangely
What
enough,
is it?
this equipment does not require any form of attunement. It can be passed around.
And can I
Very-
remind Mage of the courtesy of this land? We need to inform you, at least.
Mage would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ada would
All right, then,
do the
Ida.
honor of telling Galiaths.
All right then. All right then, Ida. Since you identified it for us, I will give you the honor of telling Lord Gallius about this big shiny silver object you found in the snow.
That made you smile.
That made you smile. Thank you, Tristan.
The Sword of Smiles.
The Sword of Smiles. The silver Sword of Smiles.
Upgraded from a
I'm
wand
just gonna
because
hide
it
after
just
that,
wasn't
remembering what happened last time.
upgraded from a wand because upgrade from the wand because the wand just isn't big enough.
Oh my god!
Anyway,
It's not good enough anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to.
if you call
Sure.
Galius to the cart, remember he's on the horse outside and you guys are in the cart. He just rides next to
Mm.
you as the sliding window opens and says, "Yes, what have you to report about the blade?"
Going to lightly bow my head and say, this is not an ordinary weapon. This can be used as an arcane focus and it can amplify spells.
Interesting. Have you any information on who may have owned it or why it is in our lands?
If you can give me this some time to use legend lore, I would be happy to do it for you.
Perhaps not now. No point wasting abilities, but we have no use for such an item.
Hmm.
If
Give me some time,
It
she
is-
says.
it is,
Maybe over coffee, she said.
he looks at Luna and then just says, "It was your group that had discovered it. I see it only fair that you take it, given that you were honest enough to report."
Thank you, my lord.
He looks inside the cage and says, "Baroness, you may keep the weapon for yourself, under the condition that you at least inform us if you ever find any information as to why or how it may have gotten into our lands. If there are any spellcasters
Very
running about our area, I would like to know."
Then, of course, Lord Gallius. Then I'm just going to look at Ida and go, when we get back, we need to find a way to reverse engineer that.
He kind of runs
It'll come in
forward.
handy.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
22 on an investigation.
Is there a minimum to that, or is it 22 the highest?
It's solid.
Okay.
15 plus 7.
You go around where the sword was. You don't find a body. You don't find markings of an owner anywhere around the area. You do find, however, a small kind of leather pouch that's a little beaten from the cold in the weather.
I'll look at it.
When you take it, it
Inside?
sounds like and you kind of open it. It is a bag of several rubies and rubies, emeralds, and assorted precious gems.
Why do I have to report this? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna go to the yeah.
Going to Giliath?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I saw this with the sword,
Gems.
my lord.
Same conditions. Throws it back to you. Keep it. If you find any information, let us know.
Thank you, my lord. Then I'm gonna go to mages.
Mage, Tanya, I'm assuming just
tap, tap, tap.
okay, you
Ah.
tap.
No, I can't. I'm Luna. I'm not. I can't be a dick right now. So
There's
I'm
a
gonna
tap,
open
and
the
Luna's
window.
outside.
Tap on the window.
Uh-huh.
Mage, I found
Yes,
a bag
Tanya,
of
I mean
rubies.
Luna. Ruby.
I'm gonna look at him like with a really
We're really
sharp
bad
look
at
on
this.
my eyes.
We're really bad at this.
Rubies, emeralds, and assorted
Hopeless.
gems.
Hopeless. Then I'm
You
gonna
found these in
show-
the snow?
With where
I
the
found
sword
it with
was.
the sword.
Detect magic.
Baroness.
Detect magic. There's nothing magical about the rubies except for one at the very bottom of the bag.
Investigate. What-
It has
What's up with that one?
it has an enchantment type of magic on it. You can hand it to Ida again for another 11 minutes. It is
Ida?
it is a not what's the term? Nonagonal gem. 9 sides.
Okay. Yes.
Has 9 sides. Ida can take it into your hands. Cast the identify spell as you kind of read into it. One of these days I should probably narrate the identify spell like Brendan Lee Mulligan, but that's his style. You narrate
Do it.
the you kind of read through the gem. You realize that this has no innate ability, but this is a gem that can have an innate ability. Essentially, you can store a spell on it, and once a day until the sun rises, the spell can be cast by anyone who holds the gem. But whoever stores a spell on it needs to spend that spell slot into the gem itself. So that's it.
I'm going to tell Mage. Basically, you can store spells inside this thing.
Does it need to be attuned?
No,
Or is it the same as the last one?
same. It can be passed around, but the spell, whoever stores the spell inside needs to spend the spell slot for that spell.
That'll actually come in useful for farming. Oh. I think that should stay with you, Ida. You know, if anything, it'll be more of a pretense for you to meet with Lord Alden every now and then. Check out the spell in my shiny gem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything sounds so
Yeah.
weird when Mage says it. I'm just gonna ride away. Okay.
Even in
Specifically
Filipino.
about it.
Okay?
The Giliaths have spoken. The gem stays with you.
I'm going to hide it
Okay.
in my skirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hide your ruby.
I'm
Keep
gonna
it
hide
away
my
from-
ruby.
Keep it away from unwholesome gentlemen.
Yeah.
Why is everything in a window?
Okay. So, we can move forward.
Mage is fertile. It's day 15 on her calendar. Go on. It's day
Okay.
15.
So,
Yeah.
on your
Oh my
arrival at the site, you see the men of Baron Drogas gathered around as they have made camp. And you see him dismiss a lot of those men, as the agreement was to have a smaller force with you. As they all start making their way home, Baron Drogus just kind of looks and said, "So, my dear Baronesses, I would implore you to give me your opinions as to what kind of strategy we might apply to this. Shall we search it from different angles, or shall we remain a cohesive group?"
You will be disappointed with us having no plan.
He's asking for an opinion, not a
Oh.
plan.
Oh yeah.
What plan?
That plan.
I
Sorry,
think
Nigel.
I think in the meantime, Lord Drogus, my recommendation is while we don't know what's on the other side, we stay consolidated for now. We can break off when we have, like a more vague, at least general map of what is on the other side.
The Baroness makes a point. I would also like to make a counterpoint that should we decide to split off, perhaps Lord Drogus and his men should stay with one of us, given that if we require quick escape, I don't believe Lord Drogus has brought any casters able to instantaneously remove him from danger. That is correct. Very well. We shall, as they say, cross the bridge when we get there. Come, let us make our exploration. Giliaths just kind of holds on to his sword as he moves. The rest of you are now on horses. The carriages are not going to go through here. So you're each given a horse. You move through the barrier. Nothing odd happens. You go through the barrier, you see the forest, and you see the outside through the lens of a multicolored, translucent dome-like structure. The sky that is traditionally this sort of blue becomes obscured with its light that gets into the forest. It's almost as if you are inside a church with all of its stained glass, and the light is shine, and the only source of light comes through that stained glass. So your sense of color within this dome is altered in a way. Everything is a strange kind of hues of multicolors that you don't necessarily associate with what they are. The forests and the trees begin to have, instead of browns and greens and whites of the snow, especially the snow, the whites turn into this rainbowed kind of blue, purple, red, and the tree leaves kind of follow suit with yellows and magentas and odd colors that have just spilled within the dome. As you enter through the area, following the main road, how would you like to proceed for this? Like circumference of the circle, or heading straight to the center, or splitting off? What kind of approach would you like to do? Mage?
Center first.
Okay.
We need to make our way to the center.
Alright. You move forward with everyone else as you gather around the center area of this place, or what you feel like is the center. It becomes very clear to you that judging distance with everything that's going on is rather difficult here. You're not sure how far back you were versus how far forward the end of this border is. But kind of travel forward, and you just hear leaves kind of shaking.
Casting divine sense.
Celestial, fiend, undead, fae. None of those things are here.
Can I use my passive perception to see if I can catch?
You have 29
Whatever.
passive perception. The strange thing is that you have enough passive perception to know that there's nothing moving. But you also have enough passive perception to know as well that something is moving. It's a strange in-between that sort of confuses you as much as you would be confused as a player right now. But there's both nothing there and also something there at the same time, and it's something you don't even know how to explain to yourself.
I hate magic. I'm gonna fling my bow, ready to shoot in any given time.
Okay. Do you say that out loud or kind of within earshot of everyone else?
I'm gonna mumble it like I hate magic.
But you're not trying
Mhm.
to keep it quiet.
No.
Okay.
Just saying it.
Then it is Sir Loon who approaches you. Then he says, Lesson 1. Whatever it is that you hate, first you must try to understand. The only reason spellcasters are able to get a hand or any form of advantage is because those they target rarely understand what it is they do. You are at a severe disadvantage when you do not know what you are facing.
Understood. So what do you sense from our scenario here?
It is not illusory. The sounds, I mean. However, I believe what is illusory is the image. There may be things falling around that are using the magics to nullify our vision of sorts.
I see.
There is the existence of certain magically inclined creatures that are able to... They do not turn invisible, more as they are always perpetually within our blind spot. As a warrior of some sort, I am sure you are aware that our vision is limited, correct? There is a certain
Yes.
point where if you put your fingers in between your eyes, there's a certain point if you move it either direction that you will no longer be able to see them properly. That is our blind spot. There are certain creatures that are able to abuse that. Certain aberrations of sorts. They're able to use the magic to maintain themselves within our blind spot even if they are walking right in front of us. That is only a guess, of course. I am not entirely certain what's happening here, but that is what I meant by understanding your enemy. Once you've eliminated other possibilities, then you know how to fight.
Understood.
This continues moving forward. Do any of you want to do anything before you arrive at the center of the area?
Nope.
You want me to investigate where the sound is coming? At least if there are tracks. Did Tanya would have seen some tracks?
Make a survival check. Any of you can make a survival check.
System.
Okay, then you can have advantage. Kristen.
Okay. My survival. Oh, 21.
You find a few tracks of woodland creatures, but they're sort of off the main road where you're going at the center. But you don't find any... Oh, sorry, you do find a few human or human-ish footprints, but again, some of them are heading towards the center where you're going, others are diverging off the road. When you kind of look at it, it looks like how you would go. It looks like footprints of people going on a hunt.
Oh. Does it look recent?
Not really. It just looks maybe a few weeks.
Okay.
Not too recent.
I'm just gonna tell Tanya about that. Yeah, I mean there are no recent tracks that I can see of what we're hearing.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not entirely sure what they are, but they seem like they're moving, but at the same time, they're not. Loon, well, your knight said that it might be an illusory magic of the visual kind, not exactly the
So
audible kind.
yeah,
That's
must
just an
be
assumption
alert,
for
I
now.
think. Someone is observing us at the moment.
Yeah,
It's Oh,
You just keep hearing those sounds of something creeping up, and they're always right next to your ear. There's nothing next to you.
oh shit. I'm just gonna go back to the party. Not really.
Okay. Okay. So-
And I'm gonna tell Mage to be on alert.
Alright.
Giliaths.
All right then.
I feel like someone is. Yes. With all
I'm
the
going to
sound.
use. I'm going to use which sight?
What does this? This is see invisibility. Let me just double check that.
Transmutation.
You can see the true form of any shape changer,
Or
concealed by illusion or transmutation magic. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see me.
You see. First of all, you see Tanya in this grayish form, like a pale gray, near white, near like actual white, not Caucasian white. All black eyes, dead white hair,
yeah,
and just this odd form that you've seen her like this every now and then.
yeah.
Her true changeling form. You don't see
Dude.
any creatures around you, but keeping witch sight on, eventually you guys, before you get to the center of this area, you come across these odd plant-like structures. There are a mass of vines and branches and wood that seems to have sprouted out of the ground, but they're shaped like humanoids. They've got arms and legs that are weirdly positioned like that, or in a defensive way, like they're hiding from something. And Mage, when you look at these, while everyone else kind of sees these odd statues, Mage, when you look at them, you see actual humans, dead humans. And you, with Witch Sight, you immediately understand that these were people transformed into a mass of vines.
Oh.
Tech magic.
Oh yeah, heavy magics. Absolutely heavy magic.
Whispers of the Grave.
Okay. Using abilities now.
Yeah.
What is it that you would like to know? Speak with dead.
Yeah.
That will require you to dismount the horse and tell people. But everyone else has kind of stopped looking at these vines. You want to...
I'm going to.
Mhm.
I'm going to raise my hand just to kind of signal to everyone, like stop for a bit.
They've caught your eye as well, Baroness.
Yeah.
Odd statuettes.
Quite odd, yes. Then I'm going to dismount.
You...
Then I keep talking to Lady Kara, although I'm already looking at like the humanoid vines. Then I'm just going to say, at some point these were humans. Then I'm going to use Whispers of the Grave.
Very astute. Okay.
Yeah.
Move forward. You lay your hand on the shoulder of one of these vine statues, and you channel the power that has been granted to you. As your hand begins to glow, your veins start to glow a bit, and you see this statue that is featureless, as it's just a mass of vines, begin to open up. Speak with Dead gives you 5 questions. The target does not need to answer honestly, or does not need to answer you if he doesn't want to. 5 questions.
Who are you?
You can just hear the gravelly voice because of the wood that's just kind of being forced to move up and down from the spell. I am Sir Owen Darkshield.
What happened to you here?
We were on a hunt. Something came from the sky, landed, and had caused this affliction.
Were you able to see what it was that landed from the sky?
A strange object. We thought it was a rock or a meteor, but it was an obelisk.
That's like my third question, right?
Yep, you have two more.
Okay. How long have you been here?
Several days. The time does not move for the dead. It
What is
must
at
be
the center?
more than a week.
What is at the center of this sphere?
The obelisk. You see the mouth, the vine stand gather again and close up.
Yeah.
Although, because it is Whispers of the Grave, you can keep casting it as much as you want.
Yeah. I'm going to take my hand off, and then I'm going to look at everyone and go, does the name Sir Owen Darkshield ring a bell for any of you here?
Baron Drogus moves forward and says, "Yes, that was one of my knights. He had been sent out to handle some vagabonds, bandits, and wild animals. We were under the assumption that he had fallen. He had gone hunting."
I'm going to look at Kiara and then at Lord Drogas and then at everyone else. Well, this is Sir Darkshield. I'm just going to gesture at the vine.
Baroness Kiara just kind of looks. "He speaks the truth. I was there when he interviewed this mass of vines."
Yeah.
Baron Drogus just looks around. And then he kind of looks at the vines themselves and what they're wearing. You can see now that the armor has also been turned to a mass of vines.
Right.
He's kind of... Giliaths! As he moves forward, he just kind of goes around the vines. "They are, brother. This is the design of our armor. What in the world has turned our men into these? Some very powerful magics, it would be apparent, and there is an obelisk, if I heard that correctly, involved in all of this."
You did. According to Lord Owen, it fell from the sky and branded this affliction upon Lord Owen and his companions. It is at the center of the sphere. Given that, I suggest we be more careful. I have no intention of being turned into a tree on my first expedition outside of this castle.
It is rather odd, but do we not risk suffering the same fate? Should we fail, or should we get closer?
Would be a logical assumption, yes. However, logic and admittedly curiosity, and I'm going to look at Kiara, demands that we at least get to the bottom of all this. We certainly can't have an object like this wandering around Castle Windwake, now can we?
We could certainly do if it was wandering around Azram.
Yeah.
He's kind of moves to a horse.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then you see Drogus sleep perhaps in the center of the guild hall. As he just kind of moves.
Yeah.
You guys keep moving towards the center. You see more of these viney-like creatures, and then you start to see that some of them are animals, some of them are fauna. So this is a mix of people and animals that happen to be unlucky enough to be here. Just a reminder. Oakshield said he has to have been here. Darkshield said he had to have been here for more than a week. It was only 2 days ago that you discovered the shifters and the existence of this area. So
Yeah.
might have been here for a while. And shifters don't appear. Ida would understand. Shifters don't appear instantly. They are still creatures that sort of manifest over time. So this may have been here for a while and no one's just noticed.
I'm trying to look at all. I'm trying to look at all of the other vines and seeing if I recognize them.
Unfortunately, there's no actual facial features. They're just vines that mimic a human face. So there's really nothing to quote-unquote recognize. Imagine a mannequin. That's what it looks like, except it's made of vines. Moving forward, as you continue traveling forth, eventually you will arrive at the center of this place where there's this large four-sided prism-like obelisk that stands. It is about, from what you can tell, 100 feet in the air, and about the size, square-wise, the base of where it's on the ground, 50 feet by 50 feet. And there seems to be no discernible entrance. There are several runic letterings kind of scattered over the surface of this obelisk. What do you guys want
I'm
to do?
going to use. What was
Sorry?
my skill that allowed me to read almost any language?
Eyes of the Rune Keeper.
Eyes of the Rune Keeper.
The Rune Keeper.
Sure.
I'm going to try and use that.
I'm going to use my third eye just to also
Read.
read the
Sure.
runes. Yeah.
The two
I'm
spell
gonna look if I see familiar. If
Okay.
I see the runes, if they are familiar runes for me, especially the
Um,
notebook one.
Your passive perception is enough. These are very different. These are not the same language even. For the Eyes of the Rune Keeper and the Third Eye, and this applies to Baroness Kiara as well. You see the writings of the Fae all over this obelisk. Strange Fae-like writing. But looking around and kind of reading through, you realize that it starts to shift and change. The writings themselves begin to change in language, if that makes sense, like the letterings in the runic languages. They shift from the Fey language, which is Sylvian, to deep speech. The language of most aberrations and in fact the old ones. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Deep speech.
So I understand it.
Absolutely.
Ooh. Do I try and interpret it and kind of out myself to the two other houses? What does it say?
When you read it as it changes from Sylvian, you read the first thing you realize is that your detect magic, which is technically can be passive, but your Eldritch Sight allows you to know that that was just an illusory kind of cover, and you see past it.
Okay.
And once you see the actual deep speech written, it just says, the rise of the dark chaos, the fall of the age of man. This is the beginning and also an end.
I'm going to read it out loud. I'm just going to read it out loud for the benefit of everyone.
Outing yourself, are we?
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily, because Kiara will also look and say, "Ah, you are also capable of reading it. Yes, this seems to be an odd relic." Looking up through the obelisk, you read the language parts, but the rest of it, are runes of deep speech, meaning arcane runes of the language. So they don't really say anything.
I'm just going to look at Kiara and go, yes. When you're a child spending all day at a library, you tend to pick up these things. And then I'm just going to wink.
Indeed.
Yeah.
At
So
a level, you can learn from library deep
deep speech.
section, right?
It is a language. You're gonna have to
Okay.
find some very specific
Thought
books.
it was like verbal
Some-
action type of thing with
Some very
sound things.
shady books. Shady books.
It can be you can learn it from books.
Okay.
It's just going to take a lot of effort. But
Deep speech.
you read through Baron Drogus just kind of, and what on earth is that supposed to be?
I'm just going to look at Baron Drogus, right?
Yep.
Going to go, well, the thing with deep speech is it could mean anything. Quite cryptic, these old ones.
I'm
It
beginning
does
to
sound
see
like-
that.
Yeah, it does sound like a threat. This obelisk, according to Sir Owen back there, is responsible for all the woodwork that we've passed up until now.
You can hear the voice of Giliath. Just kind of, Sir Oakshield! Sir Oakshield, report! Oakshield! He just kind of moves around the obelisk. Have any of you seen Oakshield? The night I had retrieved this blade.
Did I notice anything
Um,
while we're looking
no.
around?
Do I have the two knights that I still have?
Yes.
Sir Lane and Sir Vigor.
Yep.
Okay.
Sir Loon and Vigor are still there. He just kind of moves
Sir
around.
Loon. Handwriting. My handwriting.
I'm just gonna travel with Loon, but I am looking around.
When knights
Father.
go missing, that's never a good thing.
Father,
I mean,
this place does not seem friendly, son. I was going to say safe, but yes. So, Baronesses, any ideas as to how we proceed here?
Well, the thing is a warning. That much is clear. I'm going to look at Luna.
A warning or a threat? If it was a warning, there's something we need to avoid. If it is a threat, there's something we need to kill.
by the way, Nigel, do you
I'm going to
read
look at Luna.
Mm-hmm. Mage?
Can you try and backtrack and find Lord Oakshield?
I will.
Retrace our steps.
I'll put my bow and then I'm gonna travel back.
Yeah.
You want to take Loon with you?
Mhm.
Okay.
He's,
Loon travels
he's
with you.
versed in magic, so I would rather have someone who knows.
Ida,
these
Hey,
things.
Kristen,
Tanya
with you too, and the
is-
two knights.
okay. Ida, Tanya is hogging the handsome knight all to herself.
Yeah.
Can we not? I just want to learn how to hug mages. Damn it.
Just a quick one, Nigel.
Yes.
Do we still see specters at the side of our eyes type of thing?
No, not in here.
Oh.
Start with Tanya. 7 to 10 minutes in, you do see the corner of your eye and statue that you don't think was there before.
I'll go near it.
It's another vine statue.
Height. Does it resemble him?
Right around the height of Sir Oakshield, give or take. But his position looks like he was sorry, the statue is with a horse. Its position looks like he was about to walk towards somewhere. Loon just
I
kind
think
of
this is him.
takes your shoulder. We ride back with the others. Not stray from the path. Do not touch anything.
Understood.
My suspicion is you will begin to see things that will draw you away. And this place will make it so that the others will not be able to see you. You are
Oh, of course. That happened to me before.
perceptive, are you not? You're able to see more than
Quite.
most. But even
Yes.
you have a blind spot. Anything that uses that blind spot, you will not be able to see no matter how hard you try. That's how it works. At least that's my working theory.
Oh,
Understood.
just a quick one,
Follow-
Jay.
hold on.
Did
Follow me.
okay.
Travel forward. Whatever you see, do not stray away. If you do not find me, then follow the path we came from.
Loon, I'm gonna grab a hempen rope.
Smart.
I'll toss it the other end to him and just.
He ties it on the
hold the
back of
other
his
end.
saddle.
Mhm.
You guys travel forward. You can see Loon visibly trying to avoid his left and right vision, just kind of looking straight ahead.
I am wearing my hood so that I don't see anything around me.
Okay.
Just like a horse. Like a horse!
Two of you make it back to camp, where the rest are sort of now surrounding each other, making sure that you have vision of everyone.
I'm gonna go to Mage to make my report.
Mage, your sister has returned.
Luna.
We found a new vine statue over there with a horse. I am assuming that is him.
Suppose that's so. I'm going to look at Kiara and at Drogas and at Gallius. I will be back. Diba? Then I am going to look at Luna. Take me to it.
Would you mind riding the horse with me?
Sure. No problem.
Loon, Sir Loon gives you the same warning, Mage. Don't look
Okay.
around, don't follow anything that you might see.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anything to obscure your peripheral vision, put it on.
Okay.
While they're traveling back, Tristan and Ida, you're left behind with the other barons and their soldiers. You see Baroness Kiara and her two sort of hooded figures conversing. It's kind of the only thing you see is she points just. One of them approaches the obelisk, kind of takes out a piece of paper and starts writing. The other one heads further westward to a different road.
I'm just gonna tell Ida, it looks like you're having a mage type of talk. Maybe you can ask if you can help.
Yeah, I should try to talk to
Do they
one
want
of
to?
them.
Okay.
If they want. I mean, just ask courteously if you can. Because you can see that at least they have an idea
I'm going
of something to do. Because us, we don't have an idea of what to do in this. At least me.
I am worried. I mean, what if they push the wrong button, or what if they did something wrong with they do something wrong with that obelisk? Can you cover me for a while? I'm going to cast something.
Will it get us into trouble?
Oh, it's just a backup spell, just in
Okay.
case something happens.
Okay.
I'm going to cast contingency.
Nice. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the plan?
So the plan is if my HP goes into 10,
Yeah.
I will automatically cast. It will automatically cast teleport back to Galiaths.
Okay.
Diba?
That's a spell,
Back to
the
Galiaths
contingent
level.
spell.
Yeah.
You
Wind
expend.
Waker-
Remember, you
Wind Waker
expend
cast.
this. You expend the
Wind
6th level And you will
Uh-uh.
lose the seventh level teleport spell.
Mm-mm. With Tristan, if I
Yeah,
mean,
you lose both your spell slots for that. The 6th and the
oh,
7th.
I'm okay with it.
The contingent spell only takes effect on you.
Mm-mm.
Even if it can target others. So it is only you who's going to be teleporting. You're leaving everyone else behind.
If I'm getting, really?
It's the last part of the spell. The contingent spell takes effect only on you, even if it can normally target others.
Oh, that's sad.
Don't worry. I do have a way for us to escape really fast. If ever things goes out. Ooh. Is this something?
I'm going to cast. I'm still going to cast continue.
Okay.
Pushing
You take 10 minutes to ritually cast something. What you see, Tristan, is Ida pulls out an ivory statue of herself. Actually, he's got a perfectly carved ivory statue of herself that you place in the center.
So
that's the requirement of the spell. The specific requirement of the spell. Puts it down. It's gilded with gems and precious stones. As she starts chanting, and the stones start to light up, and the ivory statue.
It's a Figma version of
the statue.
Fantasy Figma
disappears. And you have the spell prepared just in case something happens within the next 10 days. So, what do you want to do?
Approach.
I'm going to approach one of them. The one with the paper.
As kindly, Ida.
Okay. The other one's left, so you can only approach the one. He's writing. You see as you approach, he's just got a black hood, a cloak that, if you know Raven from Teen Titans, sort of like that, it doesn't have an end and doesn't have a split. So it looks more like a dress or dressed cloak, but there's no split in the center. And the sort of arm sleeves. And he's not walking. He floats. He hovers over the snow. Or, sorry, he is walking. Like, he does make the walking motion. His shoulders move. But he's not touching the ground, is the more appropriate thing. So it's like he's walking on a slightly invisible upper surface. He's taking notes around the obelisk as he circles around it. When you approach, he turns around before you say anything. Without making a sound, just the wind kind of moves with him. He carries a blackened mask. Sorry, a white ivory mask with no facial features other than the nose part. That's just there. And the eye part is sort of... You can't see his eyes through it. But you know they're there. It's an eye hole, but it's covered in darkness. He moves closer to you and just tilts his head.
Oh, sorry, did I bother you? I was planning on helping you with... Can you speak?
Yes.
Oh god. Sorry. Thank goodness. Sorry. Sorry, you surprised me on that. I thought you were a mannequin or or a floating doll.
That kind of mask. And that kind of eyes, but no lips. That's what you're talking to.
Fantasy Jabberwocky.
God!
You make an effort to write something and players will always destroy it.
They will always find a way to destroy
Players
it.
will always ruin everything you write.
No, I got a pop.
So what do you say?
Oh, I am curious. What did you find something interesting with the writings? I can help you with that if you're having some troubles with it.
He lifts his hand, which is essentially just a bone.
Oh.
Pointing at Kiara. And then he turns around, and you can only feel the wind as he moves, and he starts writing again.
I'm going to look at what he's looking at.
He's looking at the same runes you've seen before.
Can I read it?
Same language.
Same language. Going back to Tristan.
Yeah. What did you find out?
They can talk.
Very insightful.
Come here, Ada. Let's approach Kiara.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was a moving doll. I thought it could talk. Apparently, he has a male voice.
What's your insight
That's
again?
the important thing that you is male. That you got.
Hey!
Come on. Let's go to Baroness Kiara.
We would not have guessed you could speak without your boundless insight.
I would have Ada escort me as I approach Baroness Kiara.
Okay. She's standing there. She seems to produce some water for herself that she has heated.
Baroness.
Yes.
I see the people that's with you are doing things. There's
You cut off. What was that?
Is there something that we can help with, Baroness?
They're simply doing as they are meant to do. They can handle it. If they turn into one of those statues, well, there's always more of them.
Is it? I'm just curious because I wouldn't. Would you have an idea what turned them, or how they are turned into statues?
Several magics are able to do that. I certainly can accomplish that, but not on this grand scale. As of right now, information is quite limited. That is what those two are for.
Oh,
Do not worry about them as well. If they turn, they are not human.
okay.
Oh,
Thank you very much. Is there something that you could tell us that we can avoid doing at the moment, aside from that approaching that obelisk?
Well, the
Dear
point
Baroness
of...
Kiara, please help us to not die.
She just,
That's basically what that was.
she just
Because
tells
it
you...
seems like she has at least she has an idea what to avoid.
She's just telling you...
Does have a point.
If I knew that, dear Lord Commander, I would tell you, but as of right now, that is the purpose of those two doing their research. To understand, at the very least, what the source of the magic is, or even less of that, at least what we should not do to end up like... He looks at one of the vines.
Yeah, very awkward. Thank you very much, Baroness. And yeah, if ever Ada here is a very capable arcane user, and he can be of help. Just tell us.
I am aware. Just looks at Ida. Just sits there sipping her tea.
What are? Oh, are we going now, Ida?
So,
You're not gonna say anything?
she's going to be silent because
Okay.
she's having an existential crisis right now.
Then as we
existential
go away,
crisis about what?
I'm gonna ask you. I mean, what are you thinking? Do you want to create those type of guys too?
I'm not planning on doing that.
Uh.
I still don't have any idea how to investigate it without even triggering something.
Yeah. So I think
Obelisk.
it's best for you to keep away too. Unless you have some sort of, doppelganger things that can investigate for you. That is,
Yeah.
you can sacrifice like them.
Going to um walk near the obelisk and cast. Can I cast Legend Lore?
If you're willing to
So
touch the
obelisk
obelisk.
lore. Ah! Wait.
If you're familiar, you can do it. If you're familiar, you can do it. You're familiar, can do it.
Do you have a familiar?
What kind of wizard are
I
you
don't
without a
have
familiar?
You've
one.
never summoned a familiar.
I forgot. I forgot to summon my familiar.
Bad wizard.
Bad wizard.
Oh, you have 10 minutes if you can, if you have some charcoal things.
Yeah. No, I want to do it. What the? Aww.
Yeah, then you can summon here.
Should I? I can.
You've already spent 10 minutes on the contingency, which means that at this point I'm gonna cut back to Mage and Tanya.
Okay.
Mage, Tanya, and Sir Loon are traveling. Tanya, you bring them to the body or the vine statue. Sir Loon just kind of.
We're still connected
Yep.
to the rope.
Baroness, this is the body that Lady Luna has found.
I'm going to get off the horse again and like touch it. Whispers from the grave.
I'm gonna ready my bow in case someone goes near her.
5 questions.
Does it? Oh wait. So before I ask you the question, does it look like Sir Oakenshield?
It doesn't have facial features. It's just vines mimicking. The nose is the only facial feature it has. It's like a faceless mannequin.
Are you Lord Oakenshield?
I was.
What happened here?
The group had vanished in front of me. I searched, found something, and this had befallen me.
What did you find?
A child. Lost, it seemed.
That's on question 3, right?
Mhm.
What happened with the child?
I had followed the child here, spoken to it, but I could not reach it. This fate had befallen me before I could reach it.
In my first question
Mage.
to you. Yep.
I'm going to look at Loon. I'm just gonna ask him to. Do you mind? Giving us moving slightly away. Then I'm gonna look at Mage and I'm gonna morph my face to look like the girl that I saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if she looked like this, but I'm wearing my hood so that he doesn't know that I'm morphing.
Yep. Loon is not
Loon
looking.
doesn't know.
That's the last question. Yep.
Okay. Looks. No. The child was much younger. 7 or 8 years old, maybe. More innocent.
I have a question, DM.
Yes.
While I'm talking to these things, do they technically count as humanoid creatures?
No. These. You're not even talking to the actual person. When you cast Speak with Dead, what you do is you trigger the memories of a corpse. And the memories and emotions of the corpse, but you do not actually talk to the soul or the person itself.
Okay. So, all right then. I guess we should head back. If we see, and I would advise that if we see any children along the way, we do not engage.
Like a horse, Mage, like a horse. And I'm gonna do this to my hood. Then
Yeah, I'm just going to nod. like a horse and not a single stud in sight. Let's go back.
Okay.
You really need to meet more guys. Man.
Yeah.
It's at this point that you guys arrive, and Ida can be in the middle summoning a familiar if she would like. Do you want to be in the middle of summoning a familiar, Ida?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Ida's gonna be stuck for about 11 minutes while she summons her... whatever she's about to summon. We shall ask her later. What do you guys want to do?
I'm going to go up to Lady Kiara. You first. Go ahead.
Yes.
I was wondering if I can try rolling religion to see if I can contact the druid goddess, so to say. Spirit of the druids.
Ah, the one you met before.
Mm-hmm.
The one who... from her realm. Okay. Sorry, my camera is fucked up. Sure, roll me religion.
Here we go. Not bad. I think that's a 13.
13.
No, actually, no, it's lower. It's a 12. Why am I so dumb?
Well, it's not an exaggeration to say that Tanya is not the most religious person in the world.
Not the smartest one either, really.
So,
Dumb as a brick.
summoning a goddess, or at least not a god, but a spirit of nature, is quite a feat. However, on a 12, you remember one thing. If you really want to see her, start pissing off nature. It's one guaranteed way.
I think I'm good.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Oh, wait. I'm gonna look at Mage instead.
Okay.
I'm gonna scooch her. I mean, is she still on my horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna whisper. Mage, I can technically awaken one of these trees. Not entirely sure what's going to happen, but it's an ability that my weapon can do.
One of the cardinal rules of sorcery is don't mess with nature.
I awakened one of the trees by the cave, Mage. It didn't really hurt me. It just wanted a friend.
Wait, Paige is going to raise her hand. Didn't really? What does that mean? What does didn't really harm you mean?
No, it's just that he was annoyed because I stabbed him with an arrow, but he was very nice. It was very nice. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen if we stab an arrow to a tree that's been in this kind of environment for the last week, but it is something that I can do.
Mage, up to you. You are the Baroness.
I can see the frustration in Patrick's face, and I'm just like, yes, I like this look.
Like, you see, that sounds like a good idea, but at the same time, it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked permission first.
So she's not the one to blame if it goes wrong.
Not the tree.
My 13 intelligence
find
can
a-
only go so far.
Not the tree, find a twig. Start small.
Maybe a flower. I mean, a
Would that
twig
be
isn't
fine?
exactly a living thing, so it has to be living.
Find a small plant that will do it. Just to get its attention. If
Why
you
are
cannot
we...
harm it,
Go on, go on.
Alright.
if you cannot harm it,
I have to poke it with an arrow, Mage.
just poke. Do not impale. Just
yes.
a gentle, polite prod.
Yes, Mage. I will be back. If you want to come with, then we shall go together.
I would rather not, thank you. I would rather leave
Very
you
well.
to your
I'm glad.
ingenious idea. Go
I'm
ahead.
glad.
I will look for a flower. Then I'm gonna
And
go. I'm
gonna
gonna step
poke
down
it.
of the. I'm gonna
Yeah.
step down of my horse and I'm gonna walk. Although I will ask, would you mind if I take Sir Loon? In case I vanish again, at least I have company this time.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Then I'm just going to look at Ada and I'm just going to look at Ada and Tristan. Did she write a will?
Loon,
I
Does she have
do
a will
Did you
actually.
just
I
did
do
you
have
just tell
my.
her to poke a flower?
Loon is
No,
just
that conversation's between me and Mage because I would let anyone
Oh,
else hear
yeah.
that.
Loon is just kind of looking and says, "Disappear." It's kind of moves.
Long
If
story
anything-
short, I strayed away and I got eaten by another dimension that apparently holds the druid's powers. A very interesting story. Happened yesterday.
If anything goes wrong, just scream or I don't know, find a way to do something.
Yes, Baroness, I will be back.
The realm of the old tree. Good for you.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Heard of it?
It is quite a frigid place. I'm gonna look for a flower.
Depends where you are.
Yes. Well, it did turn to a beach at some point. It was the first time I've ever been in one.
You find a flower. You
Look at my arrow.
prick it.
Lightly tap it.
What you find is a snow rose. So basically pearl white rose that has these small crystallized kind of droplets on it. It's kind of frozen water. Two of the eyes, two of the waters is kind of, and its leaves start to.
Good morning.
What's going on?
That is a very odd voice for a flower. I'm just not gonna say that out loud, by the way. That's just me. That's just Jay and Meta. I was expecting something beautiful. I
Nope.
It was so beautiful
I
in this
made the
garden.
right
It
choice.
suddenly sounds like a dwarf.
Nope.
Yeah. So actually, Luna looks like visibly shocked with the voice because she was expecting something genuinely beautiful with that. But she's just going to kneel in front of the flower and say, "Hey, good morning. Do you happen to know what's going on around this place?"
It's cold.
Anything else? I know I know 10 and 13 are like I'm just barely smarter than this flower.
Well, I'm talking, so there's that.
Yes, that's my fault.
What was the question again?
Did anything odd recently happened around here?
Besides the talking?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Do you feel any different?
Well, yeah, I'm talking.
I'm gonna pluck you.
I don't know what you
Alright.
mean. I mean, there certainly are more vines around now.
Where? Well, I guess that's it. Nothing else is different in this place then, other than the vine.
Something
And that's
fell from the
okay.
sky. Somewhere over there. And he starts pointing at the obelisk. And the vine swings happened. The animals start turning to vines. Some weird things start showing up.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Weird things. They're Jeez, what do you call a weird thing? Like you, except taller and grayer and wings and red eyes and Add more of those things on your where more of those things with your body. Flapping his leaves around as if telling you arms.
I see.
Can't see them though. Unless they want to be.
Where did you last see them?
Behind that dude. Pointing at Oak Shield statue.
Understood. Thank you, Rose. I'm gonna lightly tap it in the head, like gently pet it.
Is that my name?
That is what you are. You are a Snow Rose.
I'm confused.
I would call you Snow White, but that is a bit redundant. So,
What's redundant?
it means you repeat something. But you have 8 hours to explore your new speaking ability. Thank you so much for your information. Unless you want to come with me, then I can pluck you and put you on my chest.
He
Pointing
just
at
takes
my-
out his vines and starts walking away. Thanks.
Ah, I almost forgot I can do that.
He's gonna
Make sure
die.
to plant yourself after.
Is it?
Yeah, make sure to borrow yourself after that.
What's a plant?
That is you, my friend, and you need soil to survive.
Ah, thanks. He walks a few steps. What's soil?
That
Oh
thing that
fuck!
you're stepping
She's
on.
gonna dead. He's gonna die.
Right.
Just make sure your
White stuff.
roots or your feet are buried under there.
He puts his roots inside the snow that's taller than him. Right.
Bless him with this try. He's gonna die, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll make sure to take him with me before we leave this place if we
Loon.
survive. But I will look at Loon, yeah.
Loon is just... Very well. He's still unfazed.
Mhm.
Seems like nothing's surprising him at this point. He's more surprised
Yeah.
at the rose... The way the rose sounds.
Having- Yeah, same.
Uh.
The voice. It's the voice. Oh god.
Shall we head back?
Yes. I am not comfortable with being alone without the group here. Too many variables.
Yes. You know, as a Snow Rose, I was expecting it to sound rosy.
Things are rarely as we would like or expect. Seems to be a recurring problem.
I don't disagree with that. I'm gonna ride the horse and head back.
And back to Mage. Mage, did you want to do something?
I'm going to talk to Kiara,
Okay.
and I'm going to walk up to her and just kind of
He's having tea.
cross my hands together and go, so,
Baroness.
So, what are we to make from all of this so far? It appears I have found Lord Oakenshield, and in a somewhat titular irony, Sir Oakenshield has been turned into, well, oak.
I can appreciate some irony. Well, Baroness, you have jumped just in time. As you see one of her hooded figures just approaches. You may speak. The obelisk runes. They are containment measures. They hold something within. Really? Do you gather that is the source of the power that is causing all of this? The power bleeds, causing this disturbance. So the shield is weakening. So whatever's inside there will be released. Is that correct? Perhaps the obelisk is a living creature. Really? Is that all? Yes. My counterpart has died. Shame. Well, you can always be resummoned. As you were. He walks away. Well, Baroness, there you have it. Seems we have a prison in our hands.
We have any idea as to what it is holding?
I would certainly like to know. But as of the moment, we do not. We just know that it is a containment for something. And given the language, it might be something ancient. Or alien. Whichever.
Existential threat, either way. I'm just kind of
Or
thinking.
opportunity.
There is also that, yes. Opportunity if it doesn't kill us first. I'm kind of looking worried at this point.
True. But it can be used carefully. We measure how much magic this container has left. We see to it that we are first in line to understand when that container will fail. We prevent it should we want to, but I am more inclined to study this. There's a creature in here that is imprisoned, and that prison has landed its way into our world. The simple solution is to banish it from here. But, given what this thing is capable of, perhaps our people other than our allies would like to have first-hand experience of what this thing does. Wouldn't you agree?
Certainly. I suppose the question I would need to ask is, how do you propose we carry on with research of this anomaly without attracting too much attention? Have you been able to divine whether it can be moved or relocated somewhere?
I have not. However, I can imagine we may keep it here, travel here when we need to with Baron Drogus' approval. Keep a watch on Azram, ensure that no other spellcasters are aware that we are here and are not aware of what is happening. We study it, see how long it has left before it is opened. Perhaps find a way to open a portal to the astral plane and send it into its empty sea.
I'm going to look at Luna and at Ida.
After we've had our opportunity with it, of course. This kind of power should be harnessed, researched, perhaps even replicated.
I agree. However, I'm going to look at my sisters, and I'm going to look at them and go, you mentioned back there that you found runes outside our keep that allowed for instantaneous transport. Was that correct?
Yes, Baroness. I still have it with me.
You think you can replicate them, and do you think you would be able to set up a portal that leads to here?
I'm gonna look at Ada.
Given enough time,
Yeah.
if you spend a few days here, keep
Mhm.
coming back and redoing it, then yes, you can.
That might be a safer way to keep traveling here for research. Well, and then I'm going to look at Baroness Kiara instead of the rest of the kingdom spotting a caravan on a 30-minute convoy here every time.
May
A
I see
proposal.
these runes?
Mhm.
Yes, Baroness. I'm gonna open the book. I'm gonna give it to her, but I will look at Mage and then say,
Yeah, like
I have gathered information from earlier, and we have been informed that there are creatures with white skin, wings, and red eyes roaming around this place. Apparently, he was last seen with Sir. Looking at that Sir Oakland.
Statue's gone. You're back to the obelisk.
Misdirection, basically. I'm looking at the statues.
Yeah.
white skin, wings, red eyes,
Multiple arms.
multiple arms.
Multiple arms.
Make an intelligence check, mage. Make a religion check.
Religion check, right? Religion.
With advantage, given what you are.
Okay. 10.
22. Okay. You recall in your studies upon receiving these abilities, the research that you have done since that night. There are certain creatures, monsters, they're not demons, but they certainly look the part. They're aberrations of sorts, alien kind of species of creatures. You do not know the name of them, but you have seen that description before. They're normally servants of old ones, elder beings.
Well, that lines up with the deep speech. I'm going to look at Kiara, and then I'm going to tell her, based on what Luna here has told us, it would appear that the stars align. We seem to have an old one in our midst.
Very knowledgeable, aren't you, Baroness?
Yeah.
In any case, she calls her hooded figure. Study this. You will remain here and create this for me. Clear? Yes. She's made a copy, hands Luna back her notebook. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Now,
you.
Baroness, you're dealing with an old one, then it will become of utmost importance that we dispose of this once the magic is weakened far too much. In the astral sea, these old ones can do nothing.
If I may ask, would there still be a way, do you think, to turn this to our advantage?
There's an existential threat in the heart of the Azram kingdom that only we know of and that only we understand. On one hand, you might be able to use it as leverage for more agreeable terms, perhaps. On the other hand, you may use it as a threat. And on the more diplomatic side, I suppose you might use it as a negotiating chip. It really depends on your creativity. I, for one, wish to harness this ability. It takes a great amount of magic to be able to do what this has done to this section of the forest. It will take a great amount of magic to study this, but then perhaps we might have a source of power for ourselves.
I'm going to look at Ida. Like, well then, it would appear that you now have a higher calling as opposed to just farming. Darling, try not to
Nothing to say.
turn into a tree while you're out here researching. You may of course take Celeste with you.
Mm.
I shall begin to formulate a plan in order to avoid us turning into flora. However, I am most curious to find a specific reason for all of this happening. It is unusual. I've never heard of an old one that turns its victims into vines. Perhaps more research is required. In any case, and at that point she gets interrupted. You see those creatures that Tanya described. Oh dear. Seems we
Can
have
I hide?
company. Sure.
Thank you.
It seems we have company.
I'm going to look and
Baroness, how long has it been since you've had a taste of combat?
quite a while, I'm afraid. Then I'm just going to sigh.
It's quite
Much as possible,
unsavory.
Quite uncivilized.
He snaps and calls for the hooded figure who just goes in front of her.
Yeah.
And you see Baron Drogus and Giliath and the remaining knights already fighting off a few of them. As a couple, about 4 of them approach your family. And you see Kiara just kind of order her hood as she stays in the back. Well,
Mhm.
this has certainly turned interesting. Savage, but interesting. And because Tristan is missing, and you have somewhere to be, we're gonna call that a night. Next week, we roll initiative
Oh.
at level 20.
Yay! Oh my god!
I think Tanya is frozen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know where
Whoa.
Tanya is, but we're gonna call that a night. So, good night to everyone who's watching. And next week, we're about to have some really terrifyingly deadly level 20 combat. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next stream.
Good night, guys.
Like,